Howdy folks, another fantastic day here in the west of Ireland. The sun is out and it's actually warm as well. Next few days it's supposed to get up as high as 19-20 degrees. So lots of walks with the doggos over the next few days. It's about 12:30 on a Thursday, and we had one little job on. We're self-employed. We had one little job on this morning. We finished up, done and all, about 10:30. We were home having a coffee and something to eat. And the reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of people ask, how do you live out in the country? Like, work-wise, what do you do for work? What do you do for an income? I don't mean they ask us personally. I mean in conversation, when they're talking, if they're talking about what it would be like moving to the country. Is it possible? Could they consider it? They ask that of themselves, I suppose. What would we do for work? What would we do for an income? And, you know, it's a popular topic, you know. And I'll go back to what I always do, which is, if you can get rid of the mortgage, and I don't just say that in a real casual way. I know it sounds it, but I don't mean it like that. But I think what is a common thing is, if people are moving out to the countryside, they're sizing down and they're buying cheaper. So I suppose it depends on the equity in your house that you have on your house, your current house. And if you're selling up and cashing in, depends how much you have and what you can buy. But if you're living in Dublin, for example, and you've had a mortgage for the last 15 years, then what you might have bought that house for compared to what you could sell it for today, there's probably a substantial difference. And were you to cash it in, if it's a consideration for you, well, you can do the maths. You know how much you're going to get. And our experience, and for many other people who have had similar experiences in the country, sometimes you can buy a house outright, and if you can't, then the amount outstanding on it, what you pay off and what's left, is very, very small. You know, you will be seeing, if you've to borrow any money on top of the equity you have, you will be seeing a day where you own the house outright. That's if you don't own it outright right from the start. We went completely hardcore on it. You know, we bought derelict, a house that was in bits, but we could see the potential. So we went for it. So we owned it outright from the beginning. And I would, you know, I'd highly recommend it. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's a lot of hard work, but it's an adventure, it's a journey, and I'd recommend it. But is it possible to cash in now, sell up, gather your equity, and buy out in the country. It seems so, but I think that's going to change fast. It's probably borderline at the moment. You can probably still just about do it, depending on what you make on your house in the town, in the city. But you can probably still just about buy a house outright. It's arguable, but it might be still possible. And if you do, you find yourself in life with no mortgage, then the pressure's off. Anyway, to get back to the point of why I was telling you about our work, is that when you get rid of the mortgage, you have the choice to decide what work you want to do, when, where, how long, and that's exactly what we do. We schedule it to suit ourselves. We only take on an amount of work that suits us. Time-wise, financially, we suit ourselves, and it's all down to being mortgage-free and getting rid of all the debts you usually kind of gather by living the 9-to-5 life, you know. So I would highly recommend it. Say it again, it isn't for the faint-hearted. There's a lot of work involved, physically, mentally as well. You've got to wrap your head around this. It's not for everyone. But the freedom it gives you in things like work. Of course, if you're fucking loaded, you might choose to not work at all. Fair play to you. But yeah, just one of the many things to consider with life in the country.